Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is November 15, 2023, and we are getting into the volume 179 of me answering your immigration related questions. As always, before beginning this video, I'm going to mention, as I mentioned in every video, I am not an immigration attorney. This is not legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USAS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. So let's start with the very first question from user. I'm sorry, for some YouTube decided not to show me the names anymore, so just the handles. So the user says, quote 02, my details. My F11 visa, so F1 visa category, has been current for a long time and there is no interview appointment scheduled yet. After documentarily qualified, we tried several times to visa expedite by showing medical dog of my father suffering chronic kidney disease and both are 92% damaged, but got refusal every time. Wow, that's messed up. Now he is physically unfit to visit me. Therefore, I want to visit my family. What can I do next? Please help me. Below my case details for your kind advice. Petitioner, my mom. Okay, so USA citizen, but applied time she was green card. Okay, that's fine, but sounds like you already switched it from F2B to F1. So priority date December 2014, documentarily qualified January 2021, so way over 2 years ago. And country Bangladesh. Okay, so let's take a look at the visa bulletin and see what's going on. So Bangladesh, so we are looking at all chargeability area. You're already documentarily qualified, so we're gonna look at the graph A. So as of right now for F1, it's showing January 2015, and you are December 2014. Okay, so January 2015, December 2015. Okay, so let me ask you this. You're saying that your F1 visa has been current for a long time. Because it wasn't really current for a long time. I mean, considering that, the visa bulletin haven't been moving for a long time, that, yeah, of course. But you are just really over a month, December 2014, January 2015 is just literally 1 month that you have been current. Now, the reason why you were waiting after becoming documentarily qualified is probably most likely because you still had some time in the backlog to wait. Let me, I want to check something because right now it's showing January 2015. I want to check and see. I'm going to open this in a new tab. I want to see where it moved last. I don't really remember, but let's see if I can take a look. So here's a cool trick. If you want to quickly find the visa bulletin for previous months, just do your edits in the URL. The reason why it is showing right now 2024 for October 2023 is because it's a new fiscal year, which starts in October. Keep that in mind. But let's see. So it's still showing January 2015 in October. Let's go back to 2023. And I will go to the middle of it and we will go to August, and I'm thinking that's already okay, still showing January 2015. Okay, now I understand why you're saying that you've been waiting. It's really messed up because you've been waiting for a long time, and if you look at the visa bulletin, it is still showing the January 2015, which is, yeah, it's very annoying. Okay, so right around January you became current. So you've been waiting for quite some time now. So you've been waiting for over a year with the current visa bulletin. Man, I wonder why. Did they tell you why they denied your request for expedited processing? Because here's the thing. Your visa is current. You are documentarily qualified. And you have a really serious reason, to expedite this case. Typically, they should be responsible. Man, that's messed up. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you sent your expedited request? Was that before or after you were documentarily qualified and current on the priority date? Because if it was before, then I would recommend sending another one. And if not, then honestly, I would recommend your parents who are in the United States, your mom, since she's the petitioner, I would recommend her reaching out. If she wants to do it herself, she can definitely do it herself to, local elected officials and because I believe that in this case the expedited request should have been approved for you. You have a very, very valid reason, and you meet all of the criteria, because that's the two things that you have to have if you want to apply for expedited processing. Is you have to be documentarily qualified, and your priority date has to be current, which you do meet both of these. So I would recommend definitely for your parents, for your mom, to reach out to local elected officials and explain the situation to them and request for their help. Request them to intervene and on behalf, because that's what they can do. If you reach out to senator, congressman, whoever it is, in her district where she lives, in the state where she lives, she can reach out to state senators, and they can, on behalf of her and you, they can reach out to the U.S. Embassy in Bangladesh and say, hey guys, listen, well, what are you doing? This person right here, he has a serious reason. This needs to be processed faster. I don't know why it was denied, but we are asking you to review it again. They can do that. If she's not comfortable doing that by herself, then definitely reach out to, start reaching out to immigration attorneys. Find a good family immigration attorney in the area who will be willing to do that for her, all right? If she's not comfortable doing it herself. Because, you have all the odds are in your favor regarding this, specifically for the expedited processing. As far as the interview itself, I would assume that, Bangladesh, heavy immigration traffic from Bangladesh, so that's probably why you're waiting for a long time. And I would suspect even that's probably why they are not willing to accommodate your expedited request. But I think they should, because you do have a very, very important reason. So good luck with that, and please come back if you can to this channel and let me know how it works out. But yeah, at this point, you definitely need to seek external help, and it is much easier for your parents to do that, for your mother, because she is in the US, she is a US citizen, so she can reach out to local elected officials and demand, very polite, very professionally, but demand, say, hey, this is my son, and my son needs to be with us, and he's current, and we have a good reason. So yeah, I think so please come back to this channel, and if you can let me know the update on your case. I would really appreciate it, but hopefully it works out for you, and you can make it work. Okay, let me post the response here, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Amin KLE. Hello sir, my category is F2A, all my documentary is qualified, waiting interview schedule, my priority date is 20 February 2019, final fiscal year chargeability charts show current November and December, 8th February 2019. My question is, do I waiting to be called anytime, or still my date is a month's cutoff date? Okay, great question. Let's take a look at the visa bulletin for F2A, see what's going on. Yeah, you already told me, but let me just double check, go back to the December. Let me close this. So right now for all chargeability, we got February 2019. Okay, so, and you are February 2019. So you're 20 February 2019, and this one is 08 February 2019. So judging by this, you still have 12 days. Now I know this is really silly because it's only 12 days, but the thing is, U.S. Embassy, that's what they look at, all right? Before they can schedule your interview, this is what they're looking at. They're looking at the visa bulletin, and you have to be current on the visa bulletin for them to schedule your interview. So most likely your interview has not been scheduled yet. Give it another couple months until it finally becomes, you really become within the date that is, you become past the date that is shown on the visa bulletin. Then you're definitely current, and then from then on, you can expect the interview to be scheduled. Keep in mind that depending on how busy, I don't remember if you told me your chargeability area or not, doesn't look like it, but depending on where you're from, depending on how busy U.S. Embassy is in your country, the times the interview schedule might vary. For some people, most of the times it's like 6 months, but a lot of times it's closer to a year that you're waiting for your interview to be scheduled. And I've seen some, wait as long as, year and a half, 2 years. You really do have to wait sometimes, depending on how busy the U.S. Embassy is there. But yes, my friend, you still have a little bit more. Hopefully next month we will see. Unfortunately, on December visa bulletin, we did not see any movement at all from November. So hopefully we will see some movement for January 2024 visa bulletin, hopefully. But yes, on this channel, when the new visa bulletin comes up, I make an updated video. So once that comes out, I'll definitely do that. So if you're not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh, it looks like from Amin Kelly. Again, my first priority is February 2019. As I see the chargeability charge, there are on 8 February 2019. Am I in line to receive interview appointment, or am I near far? You're really near. You're really near, my friend. But yeah, it's yeah, I know, 12 days, right? 12 days. But again, as you can see, from November to December, it did not move at all. So you definitely do want your priority date to be within that. Okay, let me post a response here as well, and we're gonna move on to the next one from HHP. Hello sir, I'm from India. We applied for F4 visa back in 2008 October, and I get approval in 2010 November. How much time we have to wait for the documentarily qualification? Okay, so let's take a look at the visa bulletin. So your F4 chargeability area India, and we're gonna be looking at graph B, not graph A, because we want to find out when the NVC portal is gonna be open. So looks like India is a little bit behind all chargeability area. All chargeability is March 2008. India is in February 2006, end of February 2006, and your priority date is in 2008 October. So you have about 2.5 years more before the NVC portal is gonna be open up. So you still have a little bit more time. Well, I wouldn't say it's a little bit, it's still a significant time, but you've been waiting for a very long time already. So you are now you're getting there. You're getting there. I would recommend to start preparing for the documentary qualification. Put all the documents together, you know, everything is gonna need. I do have a video on this channel where I show a real NVC portal that was already documentarily qualified. You can see what documents you need to, you know, the application, there's affidavit of support, there's a DS-260. I do have a separate video on DS-260. I do have the video on interview questions. So just do your research and prepare as much as possible. That's what I would recommend to do. You still have a little bit of more time, so no rush, but you know, getting into this groove, you know, with the immigration case that you have going, it always is, you know, helpful, because you are finding out new information for yourself, because obviously since 2008 when you applied, a lot of things has changed. So it's definitely good to stay up to date and definitely stay prepared. Okay, so let me post a response here, and we're gonna move on to the next one from Ajit Thomas. F3, when it will move. Ajit, thank you very much for your question. I wish I could answer that question, but I really can't answer these questions because I do not know. You know, it's hard to understand why. I mean, you know, if you search the internet and if you do your research, you will see, you know, people talk about pandemic, people talk about, obviously, you know, but initially, here's the thing: throw away the pandemic, throw away the current situation in the world, forget all of that. The core of the problem is that the amount of the immigrant visas for family preference categories is limited. Okay, that is the problem. It is limited to 226,000 visas per year for the whole world. All right, so obviously there is a lot more applications each year that are coming in compared to the amount of immigrant visas that are available. With that, of course, you have these extra applications that have to wait for the next year and get their immigrant visas next year. And obviously, you know, each year, each year the backlog keeps on it only keeps on growing. So right now, if we look at the visa bulletin, you know, these for F1, you know, 5 years ago, it wasn't that bad for F1. 10 years ago, it wasn't that bad for F1, for all the other categories. But because each year backlog keeps on accumulating, and of course, pandemic didn't help at all. It made it much, much worse because US embassies were closed, no immigrant visas were issued. So with all of that, on top of the existing problem of the limited 226,000 that Congress, decided that they're going to issue for the fiscal year 2024, which honestly, that is a whole completely different conversation. Why they limited for families, because these are families. This is family reunification, all right? But that's how, that's whatever they decided, and that's really the reason why, some of these categories are not moving at all. Like the F3 that haven't been, or F4 that haven't been moving for a very, very long time. When it will move? Well, it will move when the immigrant visas are issued for those people that have been waiting longer, that are still waiting, that have their priority days before you. And once you get there, then but when it's going to be in numbers, I have no idea. Okay, let me post the answer here, which is not really an answer. Honestly, it's not even an answer. It's not an answer. It's more of because I'm in the same situation too. I'm an immigrant myself. I do have a family reunification petition. And I'm going to be waiting another 13 years on that petition. So I completely understand. When I'm giving answers to people here, I can definitely relate. I don't just, oh yeah, you keep waiting. I know how it feels. I'm waiting too. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Hamdi Mirer. Hi sir, I'm documentarily qualified on July 2023, F22 visa class, Djibouti embassy. Can I request expedited? If yes, please help me. How? Thanks. Okay, so you are documentarily qualified. Okay, so here's the thing, Hamdi. Take a look at your priority date, right? Because these are the two things that are required in order for you to be even able to request the expedited processing. You have to be documentarily qualified, which you are. We know that. That's great. And your priority date, it has to be current. So if your priority date current on the visa bulletin, take a look. You're F22, so you're going to be looking at F2A. So right now is 08 February 2019. Because you're in Djibouti embassy, so you're the rest of the world. So you're looking at all chargeability area. F2A, February 2019. So if your priority date is before February 8, 2019, then your priority date is current and you can request the expedited processing. If it is after, then you still need to be waiting for the priority date to become current. That's the two requirements. Obviously, you do need to have a good reason to request expedited processing. Why it should be processed faster than other people. You need to have a good explanation for that. But the two main criteria in order to be able to request is documentarily qualified and current priority date. So if you have both of that, then you can definitely do that. It's very simple. I do have a video on this channel. It's called NVC expedited processing, and literally it's just an email. You take the email from the Department of State. All the links are in that video. Just copy that email, type them a good professional letter saying, hey guys, my name is this and that. I'm documentarily qualified. My priority date is current. I'm from this and that. Here's my case information. I wanted to request expedited processing because there is a good reason, and then you can attach, the document supporting your good reason for expedited processing. But that's really it. It's not. There's nothing fancy about that process. It's very, very straightforward, and I have the video on this channel on how to do this. Okay, let's post the response here. We're gonna move on to the next one from Emesium Kingsley. Hello sir, thank you for your info. You're very welcome. I just want to find out if something is wrong for my two brothers whose documentarily qualified has been up to 1 year and F1. Chargeability in Nigeria, documentarily qualified May 2022, Priority date December 2014. How long to receive interview letter? Mine is priority date May 2015. Documentarily qualified May 2021. When can I receive my interview letter? Okay, let's take a look. So Nigeria, that means all chargeability area we're looking at. F1, so it's your parents, I guess, petitioning for both of you. So F1 we're looking at right now January 2015, and your brother is in December 2014. Okay, so looks like your brother is current. Your brother is current, and recently, well, not recently became current, but it's been recent for a while now because the F1 hasn't been moving for a while. So, but what I'm trying to say was that when I say that, it's just that it's been current for 1 month over the visa bulletin, judging by the visa bulletin only, not going back, a whole year or roughly a year when it moved finally 1 month for the F1. But the good news is that that's it. Your brother is current and documentarily qualified. So what you can do for your brother is your brother can call the US Embassy in Nigeria and ask them when the interview was scheduled for, because it might have been already scheduled. It might have been already scheduled because he'd been documentarily qualified for over a year now. Yeah, for over a year and like a year, 6 months already been documentarily qualified. And then priority date been current for, yes, only 1 month if you look at the most recent visa bulletin, but it's been on January 2015 for a while now. So he's been current for a while now on that. So yeah, definitely call. I'm gonna find the contact, usembassy.gov. This is the website where you can find all of the US embassies around the world. So for Nigeria, I think it's in, I don't remember where it is. In Abuja. Okay, so here it is. This is the phone number. Just call them and say, hey, I've been documentarily qualified for a while. I've been current for a while. I want to see if you can tell me when my interview was scheduled for. Sometimes they tell you, sometimes they don't. Most of the times they don't. Don't be upset if they don't. But as far as yours now, yours is priority date May 2015. So judging by the visa bulletin, okay, you still have a little bit more time, which is January 2015, May, so roughly about 5 more months. But again, visa bulletin, it doesn't move very well. So this 5 months before you reach that, it might take, it might take some significant amount of time. So hopefully we will see some consistent movement on the visa bulletin. For you, right now it is very important to check the visa bulletin every month. The new one comes out, just to stay on top of it. And hopefully we'll see some consistent movement. Okay, let's move on to the next one from DD24. Hi sir, good day. This is Denise Therefor. Denise, I knew it was you. What happened to your old profile? Because I remember you had a different profile, and that profile was subscribed and one of the top commenters on this channel. Okay, so Denise Thefor says, I want to ask if there is any possibility, like family preference category, dealing with a backlog. Your priority date is not current, but you can get interview from your local country. Denise, the only thing that comes to my mind for something like this is to do a non-immigrant visa application. Just a regular B1, B2, and go and apply for it and go for the interview and say, hey, because most likely your immigration petition is going to come up. And say, yeah, I do have the immigration petition pending. My parents are petitioning for me, or whoever is petitioning for you, and say, hey, I just want to go and visit my parents for a few weeks. That's it. I haven't seen them in a very long time. The petition is still pending. I don't know how long we will be waiting. I just want to see my parents for a couple weeks, and that's it. And hopefully they approve it. Keep in mind, for everyone who's planning to apply for a non-immigrant visa with the family immigration petition pending, keep in mind that there is a high probability that your non-immigrant visa application will be denied, just simply for the fact that you have an immigration petition pending, because you are applying for a non-immigrant visa, but you do have an intent to immigrate. All right, and those two things, they don't work together very well. They should because people in the US Embassy that take these interviews, they should understand that you eventually going to immigrate to the United States anyway, all right? So right now, to restrict you from going and seeing your parents for a couple of weeks is ludicrous, you know, it's sick. These people are sick, you know? But unfortunately, just because there is on paper something is written down and it applies to this, and yes, you do have an intent to immigrate, but right now all you want to do is see your family, okay? This should not be a contradicting thing. You should not be denied because of it. In fact, I think, and I'm nobody, honestly, like I'm, you know, my opinion really doesn't matter, but I think that US Congress, Department of Homeland Security, they need to come up with a whole separate visa class that is a hybrid between a non-immigrant and immigrant, specifically for people that are waiting for their family immigration petitions to be approved. They're waiting for the backlog so that they can travel back and forth legally and visit their families legally, spend some time with them here, and then go back to the country. It's going to be better for everyone. It's going to be better for families. It's going to be better for the economy of this country, because you're coming in here legally, you're paying the money to fly here, you're spending the money while you're here. In fact, I say it's you know, it's only smart to allow people to apply for employment authorization document and be able to work here. Because eventually they will immigrate here. Why not start building everything here sooner? It's better for everyone, seriously, because you're coming here legally, you're able to work, you're working, you're paying the taxes. What's wrong with that? And you're able to see your family, you know, while you're waiting for your backlog, for your immigrant visa to become current, you know. But like I said, it's just my opinion, and doesn't really matter to anyone. But it would be nice. I think it's a smart thing to do. I don't know if we can expect anything smart coming out of there, but hey, well, that's a suggestion. Anyway, Denise, thank you again for your question. It's a great question. Hopefully that helps. You know, if you're willing to invest your time and money into non-immigrant visa, just regular B1, B2 visa, visitor visa, do it. Everyone who is okay with potentially losing that whatever $160 that you pay for a non-immigrant visa application and going for an interview, because you're putting in the time, obviously, and money. But if you're okay losing that, it's worth the risk. Because if you do get that visitor visa, all your problems are solved. Literally all your problems are solved in regards to seeing your family, because you can come here, you can visit them, go back while waiting for the priority date to become current. Okay, let's move on to the next one from El Super Tommy. This video was really helpful. It worked for me inserting the complete names too and last name too I have in capital letters, just the way they appear in the passport, not just the first or last. Try that and see if that works. Tommy, thank you very much for sharing this, and I'm really glad that it was a helpful video for you. Yes, you know, I-94, it's problematic whenever you try to get it online, but yeah, try a few different options. Last name, first name, last name, capital, not capital, assume some mistakes that could have been possible, because it's common. It's common that mistakes are made in your name, because like, we all have names that are unusual for most people here, so you know it's common. So yeah, Tommy, thank you for sharing. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Fada Moslast. Hello sir, do you have any knowledge for the F1 category priority date that are getting interview letters? Like which year of the F1 category are being issued interview letters as of now? My priority date is September 2014 and I believe it is current. I got documentarily qualified August 2023. Okay, so you were documentarily qualified just recently, and it does sound like you are current, because on F1 right now it's January 15 and you are September 2014. So you have been current for a very long time. I wonder why you just recently got documentarily qualified though, because judging by the visa bulletin, you should have been qualified right around right around 2 years ago, maybe even a little bit more. So, Father, if you can, let me know if there was any kind of delay in your case, because I'm suspecting there was some kind of delay in the processing of your case, because, you know, judging by your priority date, you should have been documentarily qualified early. Anyway, even with that being said, you are documentarily qualified, and yes, your priority date is current if we are talking about all chargeability area, which is what it sounds like. There's only 2 chargeability areas that are different, Mexico and Philippines, but all chargeability, China and India, they're the same priority dates. So with that being said, since you've been documentarily qualified in August 2023, and now we are already in November, we are about, let's see, August, September, October, November, so you're like 3 months. I would recommend giving them another 3 months and then calling the US Embassy in your country. Again, you can find that information here on this website. I'm gonna go home, usembassy.gov, just find your country, find the US Embassy and call them after another 3 months. The reason why I say another 3 months, because it's been roughly 3 months right now, and you want to give them at least 6 months after, you know, after you're documentarily qualified, before calling them, because most of the times that's how long it takes after you're documentarily qualified, after your priority date is current. But of course it can take a lot longer. I would not be surprised if it takes like a year and a half. It's common, so don't be, you know, don't be too upset if it takes longer. But I would say you as of right now, you are probably, you know, should be looking at by the mid 2024. I would say there you should be getting your interview scheduled, and it's really hard. I wouldn't necessarily say that there is out there a reliable information that shows after becoming documentarily qualified and after your priority becomes current to see when the interview is scheduled, because most of the times it really heavily depends on the US Embassy's scheduling. If they're available, if there is, you know, slot, they put you in. And also keep in mind that, you know, you're not going to get your interview official interview announcement earlier than 30 days before the interviews. Very rarely it's 60 days, but most of the times it's 30 days. So let's say if your interview is scheduled for March 1st, 2024, you're not going to find out about that up until February 1st, 2024. If you call them in 3 months, they might tell you, but it's a hit and miss. A lot of times when you call, they don't tell you anything. They just say, oh, we can't give you that information. So again, don't be upset if that happens, because most of the times that's what they do. But thank you very much, everyone, for all your questions today. Hopefully my answers were helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, let me know in the comments below, and I will be happy to address them in the next Q&A video. Thank you very much for watching. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.